The door didn't slam. That's what got me. It didn't slam, didn't creak, didn't even sigh like it usually did. It just clicked shut, quiet, final, like a secret being sealed. She left her wine on the table, still half full, lipstick smudged on the rim. I sat across from it like a fool, rereading the last message on her phone I wasn't supposed to see. You booked the room? I'll sneak out after dinner. No name. Just that. Just enough. I didn't make a scene. Didn't flip the table. I sat there. I marinated in it. The roast chicken I made, her favorite, was still warm. Candles still burning. Anniversary playlist still looping. I even shaved for this. Can you believe that? I shaved. I polished my shoes. I ironed the stupid linen napkins she picked out from Etsy. She said, I won't be long. I said, take your time. You won't find anything left here for you. She laughed. Thought I was being sarcastic. But I wasn't. I meant it. She just didn't realize what I meant yet. The moment the lock clicked, I moved. Not frantically, no. That would have been too emotional. I was surgical. I went upstairs. Pulled the suitcase from under the bed, not hers. Mine. I'd been preparing for this. Quietly. Patiently. Like a man unpeeling layers of denial. Clothes already folded. Passport ready. Flash drive with everything. Emails, hotel confirmations, bank transfers. All the nights she worked late or needed space or just wanted to clear her head. All of it. I took one last look around our home. Her throw pillows. Her candles. Her plants. Her lies. She thought she was slipping away unnoticed. That I'd be waiting like I always did, asking if she wanted tea when she returned from yoga. But tonight wasn't like before. Tonight, I prepared a message. One she wouldn't miss. One that would hit her the moment she came back and saw the open closet, the empty drawers, the envelope on the kitchen table with her name on it. Inside, let's just say, not everything she had stayed buried. It's funny what you notice once you stop pretending. I used to tell myself that love was about trust, but now I think love is about what you do after trust is gone. And me? I chose to watch. Not stalk. Not chase. Just watch. Observe the cracks. The patterns. The things she didn't even try to hide because she didn't think I'd notice. The missing perfume bottle. The suddenly shaved legs on days she supposedly worked from home. The new lace underwear she claimed was on sale. She left our dinner with a lie in her mouth and someone else's name in her heart, and I let her go. I needed to see how far she'd take it. And wow, she didn't even blink. 20 minutes after walking out, she texted, sorry babe, emergency call from work. I'll make it up to you. Emergency. Call. From. Work. At 8:47 p.m. On our anniversary. Wearing heels I'd never seen before. I laughed. Out loud. Alone. In the dining room I cleaned twice that day, just to impress her. I sipped her wine. The one she abandoned. Took a picture of the table, sent it to myself as a reminder. Captioned it her last lie, served warm. Then I pulled up the tracking app one installed 2 weeks earlier. I know. I sound like a creep. But trust me, when someone's gaslighting you for over a year, you stop caring about pride. You care about the truth. And the truth? Her phone was pinging from the Ravenwood Suites. Not exactly a secret motel. It's the kind of place executives use when they want luxury and discretion. So either she got promoted without telling me, or she was getting undressed in front of a man who didn't know she still had my name on her mailbox. I didn't call. I didn't text. I wanted silence to do the work for me. Instead, I walked into the garage, unlocked the cabinet she never touches, and opened the folder I labeled, in case she ever makes me feel insane. Inside was everything. Timestamps, screenshots, receipts, a printed copy of that one email she accidentally forwarded to me. The one that said, you make me feel things he never could. I felt sick rereading it. Not because she said it, but because I still wondered if I was the one who drove her to say it. Like I wasn't enough. Like fixing the sink and rubbing her back and forgiving her coldness every single night somehow didn't measure up to whatever thrill he was giving her in that hotel room. I stayed up all night. Didn't sleep. Didn't cry either. I just started packing. Not frantically. Again, I was too tired for emotion. I was methodical. 3 bags. 1 for clothes. 1 for documents. 1 for everything I'd gathered. The truth bag. I started calling it in my head. At 4:12 a.m., her icon appeared on my phone. She was calling. I didn't answer. Then she texted. Sorry again. I'll explain everything. Can we talk? No, Madison. We can't. Because I'm not the same fool you kissed goodbye yesterday. And the envelope on the kitchen table? Yeah, that's just the beginning of your unraveling. By 4:30 a.m., my phone had rung 5 times. All from her. She didn't even bother to hide it anymore. No unknown caller. No texting from a work contacts number like before. She wanted to talk. But I wanted her to sit with the silence she left me in. I sat on the floor by the front door, staring at her heels. The ones she kicked off 2 nights ago after her so-called happy hour that ended at 2 in the morning. They were crooked, one on its side, one standing up like it didn't know it was part of a lie. I stared at them the way people stare at old photos of someone they used to love, just trying to remember how something that once made sense now felt like a joke. She called again. I let it ring until it died out. Then I turned off the ringer completely. I wasn't doing this for drama. I wasn't trying to make her panic. I was just done feeding the illusion. The illusion that this was still a marriage. That I was still her husband and she was still my person. She left that behind the moment she put on that dress for someone else and whispered lies into my ear before heading out to another man's bed. And the worst part? I think she thought she could get away with it forever. That I was too soft, too dumb, too safe to ever notice. And maybe she was right, because I saw all the signs. I felt them. I lived them. But I still folded her laundry and packed her lunch like it was all okay. Now, I sat beside my suitcase, her untouched wine still on the table behind me, and the envelope, that envelope, waiting under the kitchen light. It had 3 things inside. The first was a note I wrote, exactly 10 words long. You lied too well. I won't be here to forgive it. The second was a flash drive. Everything I had on her. The hotel stays, the emails, the calendar invites, even the audio clip from the time she accidentally left her Bluetooth connected to our home speaker while she laughed with him on the phone. Her voice, saying things I hadn't heard from her in years, pouring honey on another man while I folded our laundry in the next room. The third item? Divorce papers. Signed. With the date marked in red. I wanted her to find it before sunrise. I wanted her to come home in the same dress she left in, tired from pretending, still wearing the perfume she thought would hide the guilt. I wanted her to walk into our house and realize I was gone before she even got the chance to lie again. And so, when the clock hit 5:04 a.m. and I heard a car outside, I didn't move. Not at first. Then I heard keys at the door. And I smiled. Because she had no idea what she was about to walk into. She walked in like nothing had happened. I watched from the top of the stairs, hidden in the shadows, hearing her heels click against the hardwood like punctuation marks at the end of a lie. Her purse dropped onto the entry table with a thud, and she sighed. Not the tired kind of sigh you let out after a long workday, the guilty kind. The kind that says, I got away with it again. She still smelled like that hotel lotion, jasmine and denial. She was humming, like she hadn't just skipped our anniversary dinner to roll around in bed with a man whose name she never even mentioned in 4 years of marriage. Then I heard it. Her heels stopped. Dead silence. No hum, no movement. Just the sound of realization catching up to her all at once. She found the envelope. I could almost feel the heat rising from her skin when she saw the papers, the flash drive, and that 10-word note sitting perfectly aligned under the kitchen light like some kind of memorial to the life she burned down. I heard her whisper, no, and I couldn't help it. I wanted her to feel it. I needed her to feel the way I felt every night she came home late and kissed me like I was disposable. So I stepped down from the stairs and cleared my throat. She spun around like she'd seen a ghost. Her makeup was smudged, mascara in the corners of her eyes, and her necklace was slightly crooked. Funny how the details give everything away. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. For once, Madison, the queen of explanations, had no script ready. I didn't yell. I didn't even raise my voice. I just walked past her, grabbed my bag from the couch, and opened the door. She stammered, wait, what is this? What are you doing? I looked her dead in the eyes and said, leaving the same way you've been leaving me, piece by piece. Her face twisted, first confusion, then denial, then panic. You don't understand. I can explain. I cut her off. No. See, that's the difference between us. You explain. I watch. I listen. I forgive until I can't. She reached for my arm like that one touch would erase everything. I pulled away. You lied to me for months, Madison. I begged you to tell me what was wrong, and you said it was me. You said I was paranoid, that I needed therapy. You told me I was ruining the marriage by asking too many questions. Turns out, you ruined it by answering none. Her face went pale. It was a mistake. No, I said, calmer than I expected. It was a choice. Over and over again. She stood there frozen. And I realized right then, she didn't expect consequences. She never thought I'd leave. Because I never did before. I always forgave. Always folded. Always stayed. But not tonight. I stepped outside. The air was sharp and cold, like it knew something had changed. Behind me, the door was still open. I didn't close it. Let her decide if she wanted to shut it herself. I wish I could say I felt triumphant. Like in those movies where the betrayed husband finally grows a backbone, walks out, and fireworks go off behind him. But no, all I felt was heavy. Like I was dragging behind me every lie she ever told, every excuse I ever swallowed, and every night I convinced myself she still loved me. I drove to a motel 30 minutes away. Not because I didn't have a plan. Trust me, I did. I had a storage unit rented. I had funds moved. I had a friend in Nevada who offered me a room anytime. But right then, I didn't want to go anywhere far. I just wanted to breathe in a space that didn't smell like her perfume. I collapsed on the bed in a room that smelled like bleach and hopelessness. The silence was thick. No more messages. No more pretending. Just me and the ugly truth. But it didn't last. At 6:42 a.m., my phone lit up. A text. You're making a huge mistake. We need to talk. At 6:44 a.m., another. I didn't do what you think. Please, don't ruin this. And at 6:46, a third one that stopped me cold. If you send that flash drive to HR, you'll destroy everything, for both of us. That's when it hit me. She already knew what was on it. She wasn't in shock. She wasn't begging for forgiveness. She was trying to protect something else, someone else. That someone being Anthony Caldwell, her boss's boss. Married. 3 kids. Big name at her company. The same guy she always said was creepy in meetings. Yeah, apparently not that creepy when booking suites. And suddenly, I wasn't just holding a betrayal. I was holding leverage. That flash drive? It had emails with company letterheads. Audio of her admitting to giving him insider info. Screenshots of them bad-mouthing clients. It wasn't just personal now. It was corporate. It was dangerous. I had stumbled into something bigger than a love affair. This wasn't a fling. This was a cover-up. And now she wasn't scared of losing me. She was terrified I might burn the whole house down. I sat on that cheap motel bed, staring at my phone, my heart pounding. I wasn't a spiteful man. Not really. I didn't want revenge. I just wanted peace. But now I wondered, was peace even possible? Because once I opened that door, there was no going back. And I had just enough hurt left in me to twist the knife she planted in my back. I stared at that last message for a long time. Don't ruin this. Not I'm sorry. Not I love you. Not please come back. Just a warning. A threat disguised as a plea. She didn't care that I was gone. She cared that I might take something else with me when I left. That flash drive scared her more than the empty closet, more than my silence, more than the note I left behind. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I really wasn't. Part of me still wanted to curl up and cry. Maybe drive 12 hours and disappear into some middle-of-nowhere cabin with no signal and no memories. But then something happened. Something that shattered what little restraint I had left. At 9:13 a.m., I got a call from my boss. Not a normal call either. A cold, clipped voice saying, "We need to talk in person today." Apparently, someone sent in an anonymous HR complaint. About me. About erratic behavior, harassment, and emotional instability. They said I'd been showing up at my wife's workplace, threatening her and other employees. They said I'd made dangerous accusations against senior leadership. I hadn't done any of that. Not once. But someone wanted to cut me off at the knees. And only one person had access to both my personal information and that kind of corporate strategy. Madison. She wasn't just trying to stop me from sending the drive. She was trying to preemptively discredit me. Create a paper trail to make me look like a bitter, spiraling ex-husband so that if I ever leaked anything, it would look like revenge, not the truth. It was evil. Calculated. And worst of all, it was working. I hung up the call, my heart pounding, hands shaking. I sat on the edge of that motel bed with the realization sinking in. She wasn't scared of me exposing the affair. She was scared of losing her position, her reputation, and probably her relationship with Anthony. And now she was willing to destroy me just to save them. All those months I thought she was just distant, tired, unhappy, but she was strategic, cold, 2 steps ahead of me the whole time. And that's when I stopped pitying myself. I opened my laptop. Not to send the flash drive, not yet. That would be too easy. Instead, I created an alias email. I wrote one line. Before you continue backing Madison Ellis, you might want to check the attached files. Then I attached one document, just one. A cropped image of her chat with Anthony, laughing about manipulating a vendor into giving them a discount in exchange for personal favors. I sent it to her company's ethics department. Untraceable. No name. No IP. Just a digital ghost. And then, I waited. Not because I was done, but because the next part? That would hurt even more. And this time, she wouldn't see it coming. I didn't sleep that night. Not a second. I just sat in that stiff motel chair, staring at the wall like it might offer me some kind of closure, some hint that I wasn't completely insane for letting it all happen this way. But instead of answers, I just kept replaying every memory with her like a horror movie I couldn't stop watching. Every fake smile. Every cold kiss. Every moment I ignored my gut because I loved her more than I loved myself. At 6:03 the next morning, my phone buzzed again. A voicemail this time. Her voice was shaking, barely holding itself together. Please call me. Please. Things are getting out of control. HR called me in. Someone sent something. I know it was you. I need you to stop. And then, like she remembered who she was pretending to be, she added, I don't want to hurt you. But if you push this, I'll have no choice. That was it. That was the moment I felt something in me snap. Not the angry kind of snap. No yelling. No smashing glass. Just a quiet click in my head like a lock turning. I packed my things. But I didn't go home. Instead, I drove to Anthony Caldwell's neighborhood. I knew the address. Found it weeks ago when I was still trying to convince myself I was wrong. I didn't do anything crazy. No confrontation. I just parked across the street and waited. At 7:14 a.m., he came outside in gym clothes with his golden retriever, smiling like a man who still thought he had everything under control. I snapped a photo. Then another. And another. I watched him get into his luxury SUV, drive off, and disappear behind his gate. Then I sent the photo to Madison. No caption. No threat. Just the image. She called instantly. I let it ring. She called again. Then again. By the fourth call, I finally picked up. Her voice was sharp. What are you doing? I waited a beat, then said, making sure you know how it feels. She went quiet. I could almost hear her calculating, scrambling to decide whether to be angry or scared or sorry. I helped her. You didn't just cheat on me, Madison. You built a story where I was the crazy one. You tried to end my career. And now you're worried because someone finally turned the lights on and saw the mess you made. She tried to speak, but I cut her off. You want to keep your job? Your house? Your little promotion track? Then don't call me again. Ever. Because the next time my phone rings, I'm not picking up. I'm forwarding everything. Not just to HR. To your parents. To your sister. To Anthony's wife. To everyone. There was silence on the line. The heavy kind. Then, for the first time in over a year, I heard her cry. I should have felt triumphant. Vindicated. But all I felt was tired. So tired of being the one who had to break so she could keep building lies. I hung up. No screaming. No warning. Just silence. And this time, I knew she'd hear it loud and clear. It's been 7 months. 7 months since I left the keys on the counter. Since I walked away from the house that held so many memories, both beautiful and cruel. 7 months since I heard her voice last. I kept my word. I didn't call. Didn't reply to the emails. I ignored the letters she sent. The long, handwritten ones where she suddenly remembered how to apologize. Where she told me she wasn't herself and never meant to hurt me. But the truth is, she did. She chose to hurt me. And I chose, finally, to stop letting her. I moved states. Quietly. No dramatic social media post. I packed what I needed, rented a small place near the coast, and started over. It was harder than I thought. Lonely at first. I still had nights where I rolled over in bed expecting to find her next to me, only to be greeted by the soft creak of the mattress and the sound of the ocean outside my window. But eventually, the silence became peace. Eventually, I stopped checking her Instagram. Stopped wondering if Anthony stayed with her after everything blew up. I heard through a former coworker that his wife filed for divorce and Madison was put on indefinite leave. I didn't feel joy when I heard that. Just a strange kind of calm. Like justice had handled it for me. quietly, just like I did. And me? I started writing again. Something I gave up during the marriage because she always said it was a waste of time. I started freelancing. I built a tiny business helping small companies write their web copy and tell their stories. Turns out, when you stop living someone else's lie, your own voice gets louder. 2 months ago, I met someone. I wasn't looking. She was just sitting at the coffee shop, struggling with a jammed laptop charger. I helped her, awkwardly, and we started talking. Her name's Lillian. She reads too much, laughs too loud, and asks real questions. She doesn't flinch when I talk about the past. She listens, not to respond, but to understand. I didn't tell her everything right away, but when I did, she didn't run. She just said, "You must have loved her a lot." I nodded. "Yeah, I did." And she smiled. "But you love yourself more now, don't you?" I didn't answer right away, but I do now. Yes, I do. I finally do.